In this video, I'm going to showcase some of our new products and how to incorporate these plaids into your masculine card making. So let's get started. First up is our plaid cover die that I want to show you a few different ways you can utilize this. This is new in the shop. You can grab this today. The link will be below in the video. Okay, this die was designed to give you the look of plaid on your background of your card, but it was also intended to be used with our quick strips and give you pre-made kind of a template for making plaids. So when you die cut that, you get this look right here. So as you can see, you have these great lines already in place. You need to simply die cut some quick strips and let's put together a plaid. And I'll show you a few different ways you can use this background. One of the first things when creating masculine cards is we definitely want to get into some deeper tones and some darker colors to give it that more masculine vibe. The great thing about the ideas I'm showing you today is you can switch these up with so many different color combinations, customizing it to the preference of whoever you're giving it to. So I'm just going to start with a few of my favorite masculine color combinations. I always love forest. It's a good deep green, really nice, and I think this will make a really good base for our card. So I've die cut that background using that forest, and then using our quick strips dies, I've gathered up the 1/4 inch, which fits nicely in this thicker stripe. I've gathered up our 1/8 inch, which fits in that next size down. And then we have a really fun new die. We have the 1/16 inch. This creates the tiniest little strips in one cut. They actually are so tiny, they kind of stay together when you die cut, but they really are cut and you simply pull them apart like this. And then you have these tiny 1/16 inch strips that are the perfect accent for plaids and stripes. So I'm going to show you how to use that as an accent color today. So you'll need to gather up these simple stripes. Now, if you don't want to use dies to do quick strips, you can get out your trimmer, no problem. Just remember it's 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, and 1/16 inch strips. Using the 1/4 inch quick strips, I have die cut Lagoon. Then using the 1/8 inch quick strips, I've die cut our sea glass. And using the 1/16 inch, I have die cut with DIJON, which is just a really nice golden yellow. And we're simply going to start gluing these down to create a plaid. Now, if you want to add extra dimension, you can add foam on these, which I love to do a lot, but this time I am going to just keep this one layer. When adding glue to the back of your strips, you don't want to do too much. Just a light layer of glue. We're going to add this to all 4 larger areas of the plaid design. Now this would also be fun to do different colors. You don't have to do the same colors on the vertical and the horizontal stripes, but to just get you started playing with the idea of plaids, I think this is a great way to start. I think sometimes it can be overwhelming for different customers to work with different color combinations if you get into too many colors. So today we're going to keep this a little bit simpler. Okay, next, using the sea glass strips, you're just going to lightly add some glue. Lay that down in those medium spaces. Now you can choose to fill up every single one of those, or you can leave some of them blank. It's up to you how much you want going on and how much color. For the sake of the video, I am going to go ahead and just fill up that plaid and make this pretty colorful. If you want to use big sheets of adhesive and then adhere your cardstock to that and then die cut your quick strips, that's also another option when doing these types of designs. That way you don't have to add liquid glue. So it just depends on what your preference is. I don't mind doing the glue. It takes a little bit of patience and time, but that's why we craft, right? Okay, now I've added that to all of the vertical and all of the horizontal spacing for that side. Now we're going to go ahead and add those tiny 16th inch strips. This is where you have to be a little bit more careful with your glue. You want a really light touch. And we're simply going to add those to the other space. Okay, now you're simply going to add it to all of the horizontal stripes. Look how fun that starts to create just that tiny little detailing. Okay, we made it to the final strip. Now you could definitely do a few less of the yellow stripes if you just want to have more of an accent. It would be so cute, just the same. I say cute when we're talking masculine here, but it would look nice. Okay, let's flip that over and trim off those pieces. Okay, check that out. Such a fun way to add a plaid. Pre-designed, you don't really have to think about it. Then we're simply going to add this to a card front and look how that really pops with that below it. Okay, this is a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. Taking our white cardstock, just fold that in half. Using our new bone folder, if you haven't seen those, exciting new fun tool for us. And this is where I usually add a little dimension because I love the shadow effect that it creates. So I'm going to flip that over and add some foam tape to the back side. Now this foam is super sticky, so make sure that before you stick it down, that you have it placed exactly where you want it. Because once this goes down, it's not moving. Okay, just center that on your card front, making sure the corners are nice and lined up. And press down firmly. There you have the base of your plaid card. Okay, this is a busy background, so you really want to keep it simple at this point with probably just a greeting, a monogram. You could even leave these blank and use them, have a bunch made in different color combinations, and use those for different occasions that come up. Today, I think we're simply going to do just a have a good day greeting. I am going to use the white to really make this greeting pop. And then I think I like the color, the Dijon. It still feels really masculine. If you want to add a little sparkle to your masculine card, I think a little glitter still works great. What I like to do is die cut. You could either use our gold or our silver diamond glitter paper. Love this stuff. And then we're going to glue this. What I like to do, add a little bit of glue, not too much. And then just slightly offset that greeting so that glitter just lightly peeks behind, giving a little shadow effect. And you want to make sure that you give this a minute to dry. It will move around a little bit. Okay, we are going to just glue that down right on top of the white. Okay, we've added foam tape to the back side of that have a good day greeting, and we're just simply going to center that on the front of a card. And you could simply add have a good day dad, brother, friend on the front of this card, and there you have a very masculine feeling card to send for any occasion. Now remember, you could customize this for Father's Day, birthday, anything that you wish, just simply by using a different greeting. Another great way to use this die is simply die cut it from our white cardstock and have a white base. And then we're simply going to use up scraps. So as you're creating, especially die cutting, you're left with a lot of pieces of paper. And so from the previous card, I have a lot of leftovers here. So I am going to simply just use some of these pieces and fit them underneath each section. So I'm looking at each section as kind of a square. I'm just going to grab some scissors, and this is where you do not have to be a perfectionist. Just trim. And there you have little pieces that fit behind. So what we're going to do is add a little bit of glue behind each one. So that's sea glass, and then I've got some LAGOON here, and I'm simply going to trim that, add some more glue. If you get a little bit too much, just spread it out with the tip. You definitely want those just to be little dots of glue. Then let's do the forest. As you can see, we're starting to build a colorful plaid. Then I want to use KRAFT. See how messy that looks on the back, but you'd never know it from the front. Trim that. Then we're going to do DIJON. Then I want to add a little glitter paper. So let's add some glue. You'll need a little extra glue for the glitter paper for it to really stick. So face down with the glitter paper. Then let's do a little bit of green on this side. So start repeating some of those colors from the top. Then we'll do the light sea glass in the middle. And then again, the darker lagoon on the end piece there. Okay, there you have a colorful plaid background. Very simple, using up your scraps. Okay, I've added some foam tape to the back side of the panel. Let's go ahead and adhere that down to the front of our card. Okay, to finish off this card, I thought it would be fun to add a little bow tie. And we have this die called Beautiful Layering Bow. The great thing about this die is it actually has a dual purpose. It creates a really cute bow, or you omit the little ribbons and you have a bow tie. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut that in DIJON, and I am going to die cut the base, the top, and the center. This comes together really easy. I'm going to take that base, I've got some foam tape on the back side, and adhere that to the top third of the card. Then the second layer, I'm simply going to use, again, more foam tape, because I think the extra dimension really brings this card to life and makes it feel like a little bow tie. And then that third little center, again, has some foam tape on it to really give that some dimension. And there you have a fun little bow tie. Okay, finishing off the card, I'm going to use the Letter Lovely upper alphabet. This is one of our newer alphabets. And go ahead and grab whatever alphabet you have, but this one's really fun. It has a really nice font. Kind of has that nice masculine feel because of that serif. So I've die cut this from our Diamond Glitter cardstock. I've added some foam tape to the back side. And then let's go ahead and just add the word dad. And what's nice is you can leave this card blank again until you know exactly what you need it for. But this is a great Father's Day card, birthday card, friend, brother. And there you have another idea for using that background to create a masculine card. Next up, I'm going to share with you guys a fun and unique way to use your quick strips and this plaid background. Let's start by taking a half sheet of our sea glass cardstock and fold it in half to create the base of our card. Then we're simply going to adhere this down to the base, but first we need to add a few elements to this. And we'll want to do those before we glue it down. Let's start by adding our greeting. Today I am going to use the It's Your Day stamp set, and let's use the Celebrate and Eat Cake and add it to a block. Okay, grabbing one of our scrap pieces of paper here, let's go ahead and lay that down. Use our little embossing buddy, rub that across, And then I'm going to go ahead and use our white pigment ink pad. I really love using this to do my greetings when I stamp in white. Now I'm going to off-center this just a little bit. Give it some firm pressure. Then I have the super fine bright white embossing powder. Then let's heat set that. Look how that pops, really nice. Okay, now for the fun part. I have die cut the KRAFT using the 1/8 inch, the Forest 1/8 inch. I have a 1/16 in the DIJON and a 1/16 in the glitter paper. The dies even cut the glitter paper. So it's really fun to use just a splash of that shine. And let's go ahead. And what's great about this, you'll want to grab probably some tweezers to do this. You'll need this for a few spots. I'm simply going to weave this strip through the holes, creating kind of a ribbon effect using just the cardstock. It works pretty well just sliding and pushing with your finger. You can decide what holes, how many you want to go down into. This is where you need the tweezers just a little bit. There's a few areas that start to get a little hard. You just want to grab your tweezers and pull that through. And then feed that down, just like that, and start pulling. And there you've created a fun weave through. You can weave in it, you can even weave in and out of every single one of those if you want. I thought this would be just a fun way to really utilize those strips in a different way and create some extra depth and dimension in your card. That extra texture and interest is really fun. So don't be afraid to try this with a variety of colors. I'm going to go over. Kind of push it up with your finger and just grab in little areas using your tweezers. And it's okay if the end gets bent, you're going to pull it through and be able to cut that off. So don't worry too much about that. You want to be a little extra careful with the glitter paper because it is it will break, it will snap. So there, can you see how that's starting to come together? Then we will do the same thing again using the KRAFT in that larger opening. This takes a little extra time, but I really think it's worth the extra effort and looks so fun. Now I'm going to push that to the top of that square because we're going to go ahead and fill in. Let's tuck that one underneath. We're going to use the 1/16 inch and go in and start weaving just right below that KRAFT. Now you could even use real ribbon to do this. We have a 1/4 inch ribbon that would fit through the larger areas of this die. I'm going to just go straight across here and then skip. Kind of trying to alternate where I go over and under so it doesn't look all the same. And there you have some fun woven stripes. I think that has such a fun and masculine feel. Now let's just trim off those edges. And then we'll glue this down to the front of our card. And it looks like I cut my cardstock just a little bit bigger than 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop right there and just leave it as that simple plaid with a greeting. That's what's so great about masculine cards is I do feel like you can keep them on the simpler side with a nice greeting and some great color. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to share with you one more idea that is a fun way to utilize any type of background. We're specifically showing plaids today, but it's really fun to take another shape and die cut out of a pattern. So we're going to grab, we have our keychain die. This is our keychain die. We had this for Valentine's, but this is just a basic to have in your collection, and you can build on this and use this over and over again for different occasions. And today I'm going to show you how to turn this into a masculine card. So we're going to take the keychain and we're going to layer that right over the top of the plaid and run that through the die cut machine. And then what you will end up with is this, a plaid keychain. Then you're going to go ahead and take the base and the outline and cut yourself from sea glass one of each of those as well. Then using 1/4 inch quick strip, you're going to do some more sea glass. From 1/8 inch, you're going to do Leafy and KRAFT. And then with your 16th inch, we're going to use another glitter accent and another 16th inch using the Dijon. To get started, let's just go ahead and glue down using a little bit of glue, not too much, and get this glued right down to our sea glass cardstock. Really makes that pop with another color under that. Then we're going to start layering some plaids. Let's just create a tiny plaid design. And I'll show you a fun way to finish this off. A little bit of glue, not too much. Let's do that right here. Then you can trim this and use the leftover. I'm going to come down here and add a little bit at the base. Even though this will barely show through, it still matters. You want to create that look of bleeding off and not have any weird spots where it stops. I think I told you guys a 16th of this, but I want to go ahead and use an 1/8 inch of that Dijon. Let's do that right here. Just trust the process and kind of play around with plaids. I mean, really, it's hard to go wrong with this. It's just fun to start building and trying different combinations. Let's add that green, that leafy green. It's a nice bright green, has a more spring feel. And just layer that. Now the nice thing about this is when you trim these, you don't have to worry too much about the edge because you'll be covering that up with this nice detail layer. Now let's do another simple yellow stripe right here. Just a little bit of glue goes a long way on these. Let's do another bit of glitter. Just a vertical stripe here. Those little 16th strips are just so fun to have and work with. And if you've ever tried to cut those with your trimmer, they're kind of a pain. So it's really nice to have that die, and you get so many out of one cut. And let's just go ahead and add that right there. Again, let's do another glitter. Let's layer the glitter over here on the edge. And then I'd like to get a horizontal green stripe in there. Let's simply do that right there. And we need a nice Dijon vertical stripe right on that center. And I think from there, we will be good to go. Let's add one more bit of KRAFT right below that blue. Now let's turn this over and trim off all of our little pieces. The trick on those corners is to turn your cardstock, not your scissors. So when you're trimming those, turn your cardstock into your scissor instead of the other way around. And it will just give you a more smooth cut. There you have a fun little plaid design. Now let's finish that off. Now to finish this off, I thought it would be fun to go ahead and use the in stitches numbers, and the stitches don't actually show up unless you die cut that into a piece of cardstock, but it does give you the solid number to work with. So let's go ahead. I've die cut that from Diamond Glitter. Let's just add a good piece of foam tape to the back of that and really make that pop up. And add that to the center, and essentially you're saying you're number one by giving them a cute little number one key. To finish this off, I have die cut the key out of the Dijon, the circle out of a gold foil, and then the tassel out of KRAFT. And then I'm going to show you how to assemble this and attach it to the front of a card, and you'll have another fun masculine card idea. There's so many different ways you can use the number idea. You can do the number of their birthday, just do number 1. Okay, when you attach that top piece, you just kind of want to slightly turn it so that the little pieces aren't laying exactly on top of each other, so it looks more like a tassel. And then this actually has a slit in the circle so that you can add that directly to the image, creating a real keychain. Now this is the easiest way to do this, is open that up, slide your pieces on, whatever order you like. Then I am going to twist that back down onto the back side and flip it over. And the best way I found to do this is you need to secure it with some tape. And I just taped that down so that that wouldn't come apart when I'm laying it on the card. That way you can really work your little tassels and pieces where you want them without this moving around. Now you don't have to replicate the plaid design again on the base, but I just want to show you how when you do the exact same color over the same color, it just creates an embossed effect. So I am going to just glue that down because we are talking all about plaids today. So I'm kind of going overboard where maybe I might leave the card base plain. I think I'm just going to go ahead and add that plaid feature. Let's get some more foam tape. Add that to the back side of the keychain. And then find a fun coordinating greeting, whether you want this to be Father's Day, just your number 1 dad, your number 1 brother, happy birthday. This is a great way to use different shapes to create a masculine effect. Remember, you could do this with any different shape. Now, I've shared with you 4 different ideas on how you can use that background. So I hope you found this helpful. I have so many more fun ideas for you in terms of masculine ideas. So if you love this series, comment below and let me know if you want to see more. You can find all these great products over at thestampmarket.com. We have a blog post with links, and the product is also linked below. Have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me.